Actually, we were really excited to hear about a mom that had talked to her son and found out where this was going on. So we were really happy to hear that a mom took this into consideration and was talking to him and really was concerned about his health.
Well, when did all this start for you? Obviously, you guys do things on, marijuana, cocaine, alcohol, that kind of stuff. When did synthetic marijuana really start coming to the forefront and get you guys' attention?
We started hearing about it around here in around 2010. So we kept our eye on it, and we're hearing a lot more about it, and we've gotten a lot of reports from Poison Control about its use. So we've been monitoring it since 2010.
What have you seen since then? Obviously, police departments around the country tried to crack down on it, but it still keeps coming back. The chemistry changes. How difficult has it been, to make teens aware of, hey, this stuff is maybe sold, but it's really bad for you?
A lot of young people believe that it's safe because at one point it was legal, but now it's illegal, so there's still a lot of miscommunication out there about its legal status. So they're being told it's safer than marijuana because it's legal, but that's not actually the case. It's completely illegal now.
Have you guys dealt with any teens who have, used this stuff and who've talked about its effects, good or bad?
We haven't really had any one-on-one dealings with any kids using it, but we really do educate our parents and our teachers and even students about the dangers of it. So we don't want to hear any stories of them using it because it can be really harmful, and there have been 2 documented cases of death.
When you guys go around to the different schools, to the different groups, what is the main message that you try to get out there for kids to kind of just come to a realization that this stuff is not good for you?
The main message we try to get across to our kids and parents and even community members is that, number one, it's illegal, it's against the law, and we really don't know what's in it. The packages do state it's not made for human consumption, but they end up using it thinking they know what's in it, when in actuality we really don't know what's in it, and that's the most harmful part about it.
Talk about, obviously, if I'm a teenager and I see it in a store, okay, it's being sold, it must be legal. The guys behind the counter aren't naive enough to sell something that's gonna hurt me, and then they see it packaged like this with cartoon characters on it. How does that play into their kind of rationale to, okay, I should maybe try this?
It's really marketed towards our kids. We're not seeing that a 50-year-old man smoking something like this. We're not seeing that. The average age of use is about 20 years old. So, and it's usually young men that are using it. So we're not seeing other age groups using it. It's marketed towards kids, and these companies and people that are selling it know what they're doing.
What are your presentations of these kids look like? I mean, how do you kind of take them through the dangers of what this stuff really has to offer?
We basically educate the kids about the substance and tell them what could happen to them if they end up using it. There was a young lady near Houston named Emily that actually did use it in December, and she's now blind, and she doesn't have use of her legs now, I think. So there's some really detrimental effects: rapid heart rate, paranoia, anxiety. It can even make someone go into a psychotic break. So it's really, really detrimental to them.
Do you guys kind of look at it as the same as, or at least over the last couple of years, marijuana, cocaine, alcohol have always been those drugs that parents and guidance counselors tell you not to use. But now we're seeing a lot of prescription drug use among teenagers, and now this stuff. Are you seeing like a relationship in the fact that these things are being made legally? They're, in case of prescription drugs, they're prescribed legally. So, why can't I take them and have fun with them?
What we see normally is that there are bumps that happen with drug trends that are happening, but overall, alcohol is still the #1 drug choice for our youth. That is still the #1 thing that we're concerned with our underage kids.
How do you guys continue to, get out and fight this stuff? Because obviously, if it's not K2 or Kush or whatever, it's potpourri, it's bath salts. I mean, 10 years ago, did you ever think that you'd be having to talk to teens about things that were in their parents', jars at home that made the room smell good?
No, it was originally marketed as a potpourri, but that was kind of the guise underneath, under the counter per se, to get it sold. So it was never intended to be an actual potpourri. So that was kind of just the way that they tried to get it out onto the market.
Anything else parents should know? Is it something that you think okay, my kid's not going to do smoke marijuana or do cocaine? is this something that you need to address, because in so many kids' eyes it's that legal high that they can just go buy at the gas station?
Definitely. I would definitely tell parents to educate their kids, talk to them. If they think that their kid is using something or is maybe just messing around with something, check into it. Ask them about it. Be nosy. Don't be their friend. Be their parent. They have plenty of friends. So be nosy, get in their room, snoop around, ask them if they've heard about it. Ask them if their friends are talking about it. Ask them what they know. And then correct them if they've got some misinformation about it.
From your guys' point of view, in doing your research, have you talked to scientists, substance abuse doctors who tell you why this stuff is, just so bad for you, be it, for your nervous system or, any physical things?
It has similar effects as THC, the active ingredient in marijuana, but it are more intense. People are experiencing worse effects with this than they are with other substances. So it's not what they expected when they start using it. And for some people, it's worse because they may have a heart arrhythmia or some heart condition that they didn't know about that using this substance would trigger.
Anything else I didn't ask you about that you think people should know and kind of look out for?
I just want to say kudos to that mom for finding out where her young son found this at, and who knows how many lives she saved by getting that amount of synthetic marijuana off the street.
When police kind of started cracking down on it, did you guys see kind of at least a downward slope in the trend of use, and when did it, I guess, start coming back?
There was a ban in Texas in September 2011. There was a decrease in poison control calls right after that ban. You know that decreasing the availability of this substance and the ban really helped. So our kids aren't using it as much as they were, but it just kind of goes up and down a little bit. So less of our kids are using it.